Everybody, Gunnison Undercover. Today is Monday, President's Day, February 18, 2019. And there's a Blue Zero Hero story that was brought to my attention by one of my subscribers. And I want to say I'm a fan of her and her husband. They are citizen activists not too far from where I'm at. So this was the story originally was brought to my attention by Shannon Raymond, and thumbs up to her and her husband because they're doing a good job on their own out there. So I just want to backtrack real quick on the story. So I looked it up, and the original story was dated May 15, 2018. And I'll just read part of it, and then I'll get to the link that Shannon gave me, the outcome on this. The attorney for a New Brunswick cop accused of getting into a fight at a city bar dance floor said his client is not willing to forfeit his police employment as part of any resolution of the case. Attorney Jeff Farmer, who is representing Officer Anthony Jones Jr., said to call the January 20th incident at the Golden Rail Tavern a beating is disingenuous. And there's the Blue Zero turd. He's from New Brunswick Police Department. And New Brunswick Police Department has produced a few turds of their own. Just go in there and Google New Brunswick Police, New Jersey, and see what turds come up on that one. One of the turds end up killing somebody. That's what good turds they are. He claims the victim was drunk and punching other people while Jones held him back. Farmer said his offer was a disorderly person offense and voluntary resignation from the police department that would allow him to seek work as a police officer in another community, which he said was different from what the prosecutor's office offered. Well, he should be fired and lose whatever pension time he's got, and he doesn't have much in. He's only been on the job a short while. But, you know, this is one of the problems here in New Jersey is that they don't get fired, they'll resign, and that allows them to go get hired at another gang chapter. Because, you know, the gang sticks together. Okay, so Jones, who joined the New Brunswick Police Department in January 2016, was off duty when he allegedly became involved in a fight on the dance floor of the Eastern Avenue bar. He has been charged with assault, a third-degree crime, and riot, a fourth-degree offense. Also charged with assault and riot were James Sanders, 22 of Piscataway, Ryan Marcy, blah, 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 blah. So, let me get over to the update on this. Now, one of the things I want to point out to you Blue Zero Hero turds out there, you know, when you join the force, you can't live like the rest of us, okay? You're in your own little world now. You can't go out to the bars and get drunk and pump your fists and act stupid. And I got a feeling this is what this Blue Zero Hero turd did. So here we are. This is reported in New Brunswick Today. And there it is. That's what it looks like. I'll put the link in the description so you can read it. And let's just go over real quick what it says here. And this is dated, let's see if we can get a date on that. February 14th it's dated. Anthony Jones Jr. was hired to be a police officer for the city of New Brunswick at just 20 years old in 2016. That's the big problem right there. I say you can't be a cop until you reach the age of 30 if you're a guy, because they got a little problem with the testosterone, okay? This is the problem. They're not mature enough. They're still thinking with their muscles. They're not, you know, the big brain is being overruled by the little brain. This is the problem. You can't hire him at the age of 20. I wonder who he's connected to. Let me continue. But 3 years later, he found himself in Superior Court pleading guilty to simple assault after attacking a man while drinking off duty at Golden Rail Pub on Easton. Now, this is the thing, you know, these cops should not be allowed to go to bars. That should be a condition of employment, that you are not allowed to go to a bar and consume alcohol, because it always brings out the real them out of them. And as we know, violence is their go-to tactic to solving problems. Jones and 4 other men beat up an innocent stranger unprovoked on January 21st, 2018. So this is literally a year ago. But Jones' attorney argued before sentencing judge Colin Flynn that the officer's brain probably wasn't fully formed at the time. Citing unspecified studies and give me a freaking break. Let me read this again. But Jones' attorney argued that before sentencing Judge Colin Flynn that the officer's brain probably wasn't fully formed at the time, citing unspecified studies and scientists. You know, that's got to be the best one. His brain has not fully formed. Well, given that statement right there, then I say that just excludes you from being a cop there, Jones. Your brain's not fully formed. So, Anthony Joseph Maserani represented Jones in the proceeding on February and 8th and saying that there's research today the brain doesn't fully develop in men until about 26 or 27 years of age. Well, you know, that just reaffirms what I say. Don't hire male cops before the age of 30. The current minimum age to become a municipal or county police officer is 18, but the New Jersey State Police requires candidates to be 21 or older. But the assistant prosecutor and judge were not having I'm not having it either. Brain's not fully formed. What are you saying? The guy's, well, I can't say this word, but, you know, I don't know. I can't say the R word, you know. It's a maybe I can't say it. I get in trouble every time I say that word. It's not a bar fight. But let me just go on here. But the assistant prosecuting judge are not having it, denying Maserani's quest to prevent the victim from suing Jones for damage. Well, I sure hope he sues the cop for damages. He's a meathead, like most of them. It's not a bar fight, it's a riot, said Assistant Prosecutor Christine D'Elia, noting that Jones bear hugged the victim before throwing him to the floor when he was kicked by the group of aggressors. She described the scene where the victims who were dancing with the woman was jumped by the 5 men and brutally assaulted. A video exists, but prosecutors have not released it. The information contained in the recording surveillance video of the establishment will likely reveal as the prosecution continues. Well, you know, the cops, they don't like cameras. They don't like those cameras. Mr. Jones apparently held the victim while he was being punched in the face by another one of the co-defendants, and the victim appeared to suffer some significant injuries. Flynn said multiple times that the victim's rights matter, adding that she thought Maserani's proposal for Jones have no probation was tantalus to buying your way out of an offense. Well, okay, I'll put this link in there and you can read the rest of it. You know, this is just another typical story. You got some meathead with a badge and he goes out to the bar and he drinks. And, you know, a drunk man's words is a sober man's thoughts. So we can certainly say that a drunk man's actions is a sober man's thoughts. So, you know, I've been in the bar business. I've seen how people act when they drink. And there are guys out there that when they drink, they get violent. And that's, you know, and this is typical of bad cops, is that they always result to violence when it comes to solving a problem. So here was this young cop out drinking, acting stupid, probably got jealous because some chick was dancing with this guy, and he just resorts to the only skill level that he has. The only tactic that he knows that works for him is violence and intimidation. And you know, you look at this guy, he's not a small guy. So again, I know I said this ad nauseum, but I'm just an expert on big guys. I just know how they act. I know their attitude. And this knucklehead here is, this is more update picture. This knucklehead just, I'll put this, you can see a little bit. This knucklehead here thinks that, you know, oh, this is a smaller guy. I got my thugs with me, got my homies with me. We'll take him out. will resolve the problem. But it looks like it's not going to resolve for him very well. So let me see if they say what the sentence here was, because they did say... Okay, so the prosecutor's office agreed to downgrade a secondary aggravated assault charge to a simple assault and to dismiss a count of riot that Jones was indicted on. Maserati was shot down by Judge Flynn in a request to provide Jones with a civil reservation which would prevent the victim to be sued in civil litigation as already initiated by the victim. Well, good for him. That victim deserves to be get some retribution. You know, it's unfortunate that probably the bar is going to be named in that lawsuit too, and ultimately it'll be the bar that's going to pay out, because you know this dopey cop here probably doesn't have any money. 4 of the 5 men responsible for injuring the victim were sentenced on February 8th, with the final defendant sentenced on February 11th by Judge Flynn. At least one managed to avoid probation altogether, getting off with fines in order to pay $3,000 in restitution to the victim, in addition to his own $3,000 in restitution. Jones was also sentenced to 1 year of probation and was ordered to take anger management classes. Oh, anger management! Here we go. Judge Jones told the judge he had been he had a drinking problem, and Maserati explained that his client had spent several months in a Florida-based rehabilitation program. Yeah, this is the game. You know, it wasn't a problem for you to become a cop if you have a drinking problem. It wasn't a problem for you to become a cop if your brain wasn't fully developed. And now all of a sudden you got in trouble because your thug tactics don't work in the public realm when you're not a cop. See, your thug tactics only work when you got the badge on, because the gang covers for you. But this time, you didn't have the gang behind you. You were out on your own, representing yourself, and it all blew up in your face, didn't it, Jones? So Jones going to get 1 year probation. Looks like he's got a $3,000 fine, plus all the legal fees it's going to cost him. And he's got civil problems ahead of him. So, good. Now, it looks like he's losing his job. Let me see if I can see what else they said here. Well, anyway, he's losing his job. I don't think he's fired. I think he had to resign. So he's resigning from his job. He'll be, you know, here's, mark my words now. If I can remember in a year, if I'm still here on this earth, 1 year from now, let's go back and look at this. After his probation is done, now I gotta remember, he's got a disorderly person charge, is not an indictable offense, means he doesn't go to prison. It's just dumb stuff. So after his 1 year probation is over, he'll be back on the job. You watch. This is very similar to this clown over in Long Branch, that Patrick Joyce, who served 1 year probation. He was on suspension for 1 year during the probation. After that was over, he got his job back. So we'll see if this clown here, this meathead, this blue zero hero turd, will get his job back. And, you know, and I'll just finish up this video with this. I've coined a new phrase. It's called the blue narcissist. Let's call it the blue narcissistic syndrome, where it's always about them. So, you know, the lawyer gets up there and he talks about, oh, my client, his brain's not fully developed. Oh, my client had a drinking problem. He went to rehabilitation. You see, they always try to make it all about them. That's what narcissists do. It's all about them. Poor me, poor me. But there's no talk about how you beat the crap out of this poor guy. He probably got his face all busted up and probably got broken bones or something. No talk about that, right? Right, Jones? It's all about you. So let's start this new, a new diagnosis. Okay, I'm not a doctor or anything, but, you know, let's call it what it is. It's the blue narcissist syndrome. That's going to be the new thing. And, you know, and these blue zero hero turds, they got a bad case of it. And you'll see a lot of this blue narcissistic syndrome appear on police departments' Facebook pages. You know, like I just reported one recently, how they put a picture up there, and it said 144 officers were killed last year, and that was too many. But what they failed to report was that only 55 of them died by gunshots. The rest of it was was this accidents, health problems, it had nothing to do with citizens killing them. It was their own stuff, their health problems, their driving, things like that killed them. But, you know, they put it out there, oh, you know, that's just too many that got killed. Yeah, it is too many to get killed. I don't want to see any officers get killed. But, you know, I had to put it out there. Well, guess what? The numbers I found was 1,198, I think it was what I found total reported that were killed by police. These were killed by police. These were not people that had heart attacks or didn't have their seatbelt on. Okay? These were people that were shot and killed by police, okay? So, yeah, we're really, I almost, pretty soon I'm going to have to start doing an episode called the Blue Narcissist Syndrome series, and we'll start putting stories about that. How it's always about them, isn't it, folks? All right, we'll put the link to these stories in there for you to go look at it yourself. And as always, like, share, subscribe. And a special thank you to Shannon Raymond out there and her husband for bringing this story to my attention, because I would have probably not have seen it. And I'm glad I did see it so we could do a story on it. So till next time, people, you know the deal. Watch the cops. Don't believe anything they say. Trust but verify. They're masters at deception. They're masters at rewriting the narrative. And they're masters with the propaganda. And the propaganda has affected many minds out there. It has not affected my mind. I see through all of it. I'm like kryptonite to it. All right, people. Peace out.